been told that smaller, more frequent meals are the secret to fat loss? Maybe you've been told that fasting and having one large meal per day is the way to go. My name is Davies, and in today's video, I'm going to break down the 3 myths about the ideal number of meals for fat loss. In today's video, we're going to run through the idea of smaller, more frequent meals. Then we're going to break down intermittent fasting and how the 1 to maybe 2 larger meals a day can affect your fat loss results. And then last, we're going to talk about meal timing and how meal timing may or may not actually matter for fat loss results. The first myth we want to break down is that smaller, more frequent meals is better for fat loss. In all reality, it's not. This is going to be a common theme for this video, so I'm just going to knock this out right away. In all reality, it does come down to calories in versus calories out. It doesn't matter if you're eating 3,000 calories across 3, 4, 5, 6 meals, or if you're doing that in one meal. If that isn't the right calorie range to promote fat loss for you, you're not going to see fat loss results. At some point, research showed or was suggested to show that smaller, more frequent meals, 5 to 6 times a day, was the key to fat loss. Scientists said that it helps to keep the metabolism rolling and burning so that you can just burn more calories, build more muscle, and before you know it, you're going to be super lean and thin. So then why are so many of us struggling still with cravings, with hunger, and feeling like we're restricted when we eat 6 times a day? I'm somebody for a very long time has eaten 5 or 6 meals. Part of that came from my lifestyle and my schedule, in that I worked early in the morning and also closed and finished at night. But 5 or 6 meals actually started to disturb my gut. I was finding that I was having more bloating, more inflammation, and more troubles with bowel movements and gas. It was uncomfortable. I didn't like to be that coach. I didn't like to feel this way. It wasn't cute. So then when I started working with my coach, I started investigating about the different number of meals. There is actually no research to say that 5, 6 small meals is the best plan for fat loss. It really has to come down to what works for you. At a time in my life where I had maybe 5-10 minutes to get meals in, 5 to 6 meals worked because I could get the food in the time that I was allotted, get back to work, and then at my next break, do the same thing. Some people really aren't meant to have 5 or 6 meals a day, not even for a digestive reason, but because it encourages them to snack and munch, and it reinforces those behaviors that we're trying to break because they've led to this body composition that we really can't stand. So really think about where you're at with meals, and is 5 or 6 meals really helping you? Could you save some time in your day by eating larger meals at a less frequent interval? How many meals a day do you eat? Drop a comment below with the number of meals that you eat so that we can see where you're at and how we can make it the most effective plan for you. The next idea that we want to bust is the idea of intermittent fasting and having 1 or 2 super large meals during the day. Now, it's not to say that intermittent fasting doesn't work for certain individuals. It's the same as with the smaller, more frequent meals. It depends. In all reality, I practice intermittent fasting. I have a fast feeding window of about 10 to 14 hours. I fast overnight, I eat during the day, and it works. I just use my fasting time when I'm sleeping. I cut myself off at a certain time, about 90 minutes to 2 hours before I go to bed. And then I eat in about 90 minutes after waking up in the morning. But I'm not intentionally practicing intermittent fasting. No, the myth that I'm trying to bust and help you see beyond is that 1 or 2 super large meals is the key to fat loss. Again, it goes back to calories. It goes back to lifestyle. We could also take it into gut health as well. Sometimes consuming that large of calories can be a lot for our gut to handle. If you're putting those calories in a very short window and not allowing adequate digestion time, you're putting yourself at risk for an overload of hormones, for feeling uncomfortably full, for feeling sluggish, exhausted, tired. All things that we don't want to feel because we have a regular, everyday life that we're trying to keep up with. So think about that. Think about how your meals work. Are you eating 2 larger meals? There are also some of us who just eat 2 meals because we forget or we don't want to. 2 meals really isn't the answer. 1 meal isn't the answer. Find the pattern that works for you. Maybe this does work for you. You feel great. You've seen great results. Keep up with it, but know your lifestyle, your schedule, your caloric intake, and your gut health are continually changing, and you may need to adjust and find a better plan for you. Do you want to know more about specific dieting protocols like intermittent fasting? Click subscribe to this channel. I'm utilizing my platform on this channel to talk about different meal plans, to talk about different nutrition protocols, and help you find the best one for your long-term fat loss results. The final myth we're going to bust today is the fact that meal timing doesn't matter. It's really kind of been a back and forth thing where sometimes based on what the general population is saying or some big gurus out there is that meal timing does matter or meal timing doesn't matter. Again, just like the last 2, it depends. Now, if you're watching this channel, you're an elite athlete, or you're somebody participating in sports at a high level, meal timing does matter for you. And this video and this advice may not necessarily be the best for you to adhere to. If it is, I'd love to chat with you about how to optimize it for your sports performance training. But the majority of us are just average Joes and Jills watching this to learn how to get the best fat loss results. And in all reality, meal timing does matter, but not as much as you think. You don't need to worry about how soon before you work out do you need to eat. You don't need to worry about getting into this anabolic window following a training session. What you need to worry about is eating the right amount of calories that puts you in the appropriate deficit, that allows recovery, that fuels you without going too far over or too far under. That's what matters most. But sometimes the timing of our meals can help us be more productive, feel better in our everyday lives. Like I told you, I shifted recently from 5 to 6 meals to 3 meals. It just now fits better in my schedule. I can utilize those times between meals for more things not eating. It also helps me to not feel like I'm packing in meals right before and right after training sessions. On top of that, it's also helping my gut health quite a bit. Meal timing matters, but not as much as you think. Don't get wrapped up in the minutes, the times, the days. If you're hungry, you're hungry. Truly analyze that hunger. Give yourself 10 minutes after you sense that hunger cue. And if you're still hungry, feed yourself. Hunger is a signal from the body. It's directing you to take an action. And when you listen to that hunger cue, you're going to feel good and see the results that you want. Hey, do you know what's another great way to avoid hunger cues? Consuming protein. If you want 13 tips to add more protein today, click the link in the description below. By eating more protein, you're going to stay satiated, you're going to build muscle, and you're going to feel and build that long-term sustainable fat loss result you've been waiting for. Grab that link, get your free guide, and thanks for watching.